Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in this very important video today. Yesterday we found out that the Fed has hiked up the interest rate by 75 basis points, and the same 75 basis point which was considered as a bearish scenario a month ago is considered as a bullish scenario now. Is this actually a fake out just like what unfolded here in past price action after the FOMC meeting, or is this an actual continuation here to the upper duration? I am going to talk about this in today's video, so please watch this video till the end. And guys, before I dive into the content, if you haven't destroyed that like button, then please do it right now. And for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So now, talking about this here in a 4-hour time frame, I want to keep it very simple, because we know guys, in a downtrend, whenever the price of Bitcoin during this FOMC meeting and after the FOMC meeting has showed this impulsiveness, what has happened after that? After that, the price of Bitcoin has shown this bigger retracement. If you look at this, price surged almost like 7% and then retraced around 36.5%. Again, another FOMC, June 15th, you can see the price of Bitcoin surged almost around 14.5%. And what happened after that? After that, we retraced almost like around 23.5%. And each and every time during this downtrend, the FOMC meeting, whenever we have seen this pump, a dump has followed. But in our case, price of Bitcoin has surged almost like around 11.5%. And now the question here is, will this trend also continue, and why? This same 75 basis point interest rate hike was a bearish scenario here, could be a bullish scenario this time. Because yesterday during the speech, Jerome Powell clearly said that it's different this time. Labor market is looking good and recession is not yet there. So that's why market took this 75 basis point as a bullish sign, because they were also preparing for a 100 basis point hike. And we know the next FOMC meeting is not going to be on August but September. So that's why guys, that's why until then there is a plenty of room for the market to grow. That is also a big reason why we are seeing this bullishness. But one thing you have to take into consideration, let me give you an example here. Let's suppose you are on an aeroplane and in the mid-air there is problem with right engine or left engine, or the hydraulic is showing some failure. Do you think the pilot is going to announce that right away? No, they don't want the passengers to panic. So that's exactly with the Fed as well. They don't want people to panic, calling we are going to enter the recession. And why I'm actually showing you this, because you know guys, today it's very important for us, because July 28th, the Bureau of Economic Analysis will finally release the estimate for the second quarter, when we finally know whether we are in a recession or not. Because if you look at this GDP, the first quarter was already negative 1.6%, and now if you look at this, the latest estimate is negative 1.2%, July 27, 2022. That means when GDP for April through June period is released next week, which is today, it may be negative again. And by one common rule of thumb, 2 quarters of negative GDP growth would mean the US is already in a recession. So that's why guys, I want you to be very careful at this current stage. Even though we are aware market is showing this bullishness, please do not over leverage yourself at this current stage. And now, until this next FOMC meeting, let's suppose the market is going to see this moving here to the upside. In that case, where could the price of Bitcoin be heading? And also, in case of retracement, what will be acting as a support? Let me show you that with this example. So guys, now if we look at this here in a daily time frame, I am going to keep it very simple like always. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this Fibonacci retracement from this low till this high. So if we look at this Fibonacci retracement, you can see very clearly the retracement what we had ended exactly at this golden pocket level. I mean the 0.618 Fibonacci golden pocket level. We had this bullishness, and this corrective movement ended exactly after reaching around this golden pocket area, and now we are seeing this relief rally type of scenario. So if this relief rally is going to continue, then where is it going to be heading? So for that, I am going to add this Fibonacci extension line from this low till this high. Because according to this Fibonacci extension line, if the price of Bitcoin is going to continue this uptrend, then you can see first target is always going to be the 0.618 Fibonacci target line, and the final target is going to be this 100% Fibonacci extension line. So this 100% Fibonacci extension line is lying around 26,000 and it's going to remain as our target here to the upside. But for now, the most important target is this 0.5 and 0.618. The 0.5 is 23,000 area and 0.618 is the 24,000 area. So 24,000 between this range is where we want the price of Bitcoin to clearly find support. If we do that, right, if we maintain above this line, then this trend continuation is going to happen. But if we fail to break above this key line of resistance, then this could be turning out just like here from the past price action. I mean a fake out and then a bigger price retracement, you can see here, right? So that's why we want to avoid this scenario. So for that to happen, the price of Bitcoin must break this resistance, key line of resistance between 24,000 and flip it into support if you want to continue this impulsive movement towards this 100% Fibonacci extension line, and that is lying around 26,000 area. And beside this example, guys, what I also want to talk about is this central pivot trend indicator. The price of Bitcoin after this news what we had yesterday is again above this bottom CPI line, but still getting rejection around this central CPI line. Central CPI line is always one of the most important line of resistance when we are below it, and also a line of support when we are above it. But for now, since the price of Bitcoin is below the CPI line, the central CPI line, the same line is going to be acting as a resistance, just like here from the past price action. But if we do, right, manage to find support this time, I mean price breaking above this 23,200, finding proper support, then the 24,000 resistance could be also tested very, very soon. But remaining below this 24,000, as I've been very clear with you guys, is also a sign of weakness where we could be showing a bearishness here in this manner, just like here from the past price action. So that's why what we want the price of Bitcoin to do is to clearly break this resistance and flip it into support as soon as possible. And yesterday, beside this example, we also talked about this rising trend line, which was very, very important. Let me show you that one more time. So guys, you know, yesterday when we were talking about this rising trend line, we found out that each and every time the price of Bitcoin has failed to find support at this rising trend line, what has happened in most of the cases? We have started with this corrective movement. Here, a very similar scenario unfolded. We were following this rising trend line, everything was okay. But when we lost the support, we started with this corrective movement. And this rising trend line was also very, very similar. I mean, the price was finding support, and as soon as we lost the support, we also started with this corrective movement. But this corrective movement showed this V-shaped type of recovery. So has this invalidated this rising trend line scenario now? Because if it's going to be invalid and price is going to be looked like this as a potential breakout from this flag formation, then you can see, guys, we can also say this here is a continuation in this manner. So now you can see if this continuation is going to happen, and if we are going to look this as a bullish breakout from this bull flag, then you can see, guys, our target is going to be around 26,000 area. And we just found out that according to this Fibonacci extension line, if this trend continuation is going to happen, then this 100% Fibonacci extension line is also lying somewhere around that area. So let's hope for the best, and let's hope that the price of Bitcoin also breaks this resistance around 24,000 and flip it into support. So that's why, guys, right now daily time frame, smaller time frame are pointing us that the price of Bitcoin must break this 24,000 resistance if we want to continue this impulsive movement. But if we look at this price action in a weekly time frame, now after this bullish movement yesterday, the price of Bitcoin right now is again above this 200 weekly SMA. We have failed plenty of time to flip this resistance, the 200 weekly resistance, into support. So let's hope that this weekly candle is going to close somewhere above this 200 weekly SMA, because we know this same line in the past price action has acted as a strong line of support each and every time the price has tested this 200 weekly SMA. After that, we have seen a very nice impulsive movement. In our case, the same line rejected the price twice, right? And now since this weekly is above, we want this weekly also to close above the 200 weekly SMA, because by doing so, we are going to be flipping the previous resistance line into support, and that could also trigger a bullish movement for Bitcoin. So that's why, guys, that's why in the medium short term, 24,000 line is where we want the price of Bitcoin to stay and also flip that into support. But in a weekly time frame, 22,800 around that area, this is where we want the weekly to close. So that's why, guys, please be careful, because we know the Bureau of Economic Analysis will finally release the estimate today, and let's hope that it's not going to be that bearish for market in general. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please destroy the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.